Yo, my name is Terry Matthews. In the podcast world of the media world, I go by Terry Roseland. Today, I submitted my official resignation from Chicago Public Schools. As a tenure teacher in my 6th year, I had to resign. And I want this message to get out to as many people as possible. So I had to leave CPS because of the politics of CPS. And we seeing some of that in the news right now. Some of the reasons I had to leave was on a school level, the politics that go on inside of school. I'll get to that later. But I want to talk about the narrative that's being created by the community. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be people on social media, people wherever. It's a narrative out there that teachers don't want to work, teachers don't care about their kids, teachers, they taking advantage of the situation. And that's not the case, man. I got to speak up for the teachers. It's not even about really defending or picking a side or whatever the case may be. It's just being real. You know what I'm saying? Because the politics that's going on right now don't necessarily represent how the teachers feel. Yes, the teachers did vote to go, well, 73, over 70% voted to go remote learning instead of going back to school. Okay, cool. Now, when that vote happens, the teachers union go and the mayor says, to go tell the mayor, like, hey, this is what we voted on. The mayor says, fuck y'all, go back to school. Okay, cool. Now, at that point, a lot of teachers, once the next day when it was a lockout and we couldn't get in our emails, I couldn't even get the paperwork to resign. I couldn't even quit because we was locked out. Like, I couldn't even get the paperwork to resign. Like, the lockout was real. We couldn't get in our emails. We couldn't communicate with kids. And it's kind of fucked up that we do have these resources now so we can communicate with kids from home, and that there will be a lockout to where you can't even send a kid a packet of work, or, you know what I'm saying, send a kid just even a thoughtful message, you know what I'm saying? Just even send them some love. Like, there's no communication, you know what I'm saying? So that Lori lockout shit was real and that shit was fucked up. But that's the politics of what's going on. And it's like the kids suffer at the end of the day. But that's what happened. So the thing is, after the lockout became a thing, a lot of teachers was like, bro, if it's either this or going back, I'd rather go back. You know what I'm saying? But the vote was already put in. And then, the teacher union, it seemed like they kind of just take stuff and run with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a level of negotiation that's somewhat missing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the best way for me to explain it, is that there's a level of negotiation that's not really there where the teachers are truly being represented. And that's a big issue for me. That's a big issue for a lot of teachers because everybody don't feel the same way. It's a lot of teachers who would rather go back to work. But the teachers who don't want to go back, we have to respect why they don't want to go back. As a 31-year-old man, I was the youngest teacher at the school I was just at. I was the youngest teacher in every school I ever worked in. Like, the average age of the teachers at the school I worked in is probably around like mid 50s, like early 60s. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these teachers, and it's mostly women, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these teachers, they're older. We've been eating soul food for forever. A lot of them high blood pressure, all that. They are really at risk to have serious COVID cases and to die from COVID. You know what I'm saying? So when they say they risking their life to go to work, that's a real thing. And for the parents, y'all gotta have some type of empathy because you will send your kid to school with a Spider-Man mask on, and they will come back with a Paw Patrol mask. If you even pay attention to your kids. Some of y'all don't even pay attention. Some of y'all send y'all kids to school every day with their shoes on the wrong, feeding food in their mouth. So y'all don't even pay attention to y'all kids. A lot of y'all. That's another conversation for another day. But at the end of the day, like, these kids will take their mask off, run around, lose their mask, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And they won't love. So the kids are going to run up and try to hug you. It's kind of, you don't want to be like, as a teacher, you do love your students. So you don't want to be like, all right, don't touch me. You telling the 5-year-old, like, don't, when I walk in the kindergarten class, the kids run up, they trying to hug me. It's, hey, they happy to see me. They want their daps. They want their hugs. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's kind of difficult to now, for me, I don't really care as much because I don't have really any health issues. So I'm not as at risk as much as a 60-year-old teacher. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those 60-year-old teachers that's teaching kindergarten, that's teaching pre-K, that's even teaching 8th grade, because they want they daps and hugs too. They really at a serious disadvantage. So it's understandable 100% why they wouldn't want to be in class. And another thing is CPS, are they really clean? Are all these schools being cleaned properly? You know what I'm saying? Like, is every measure being taken to make sure that the teacher's health is being put at a priority just as much as the student health? And another thing, these classrooms ain't getting no bigger. So the classrooms is already overcrowded with 30, 35 kids. Now we supposed to socially distanced 6 feet apart, 30 kids in the classroom, 30 kids plus a teacher and a seeker. If it's a seeker in the classroom, it's 30 plus people in this class, and we're supposed to all be 6 feet apart. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? The class was overcrowded before COVID. So it's like, that's a joke. Like, that's a joke. That's not even gonna happen. Like, in no way, shape, or form are you socially distancing 30 people in the classroom. So we supposed to have class in the hallway, in the gym. Like, what we supposed to do? Like, so it's really not making sense. So the COVID cases are gonna continue to go up, and kids are coming to school sick. There are kids that, you know what I'm saying, their parent got to go to work. They ain't trying to call off. They sending their kids to school sick. You know what I'm saying? It's happening. It's a thing. It's happening. We seeing it every day. So yeah, like the 60-year-old teacher, she had, you damn right she don't want to go to work. And it shouldn't nobody have no problem with that. Do you want your mother, your grandmother to get sick? Nah. So it's just like, I don't want my grandmother or mother to get sick. But them old ladies over there, they got a job to do. So fuck them. Like, you know what I'm saying? They need to go to work. Like, it ain't right that we judging the situation the way we judging it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of foul. Not even kind of foul, it's foul. But then on the flip side of that, you got e-learning. And I know it's some small-minded people that might be watching this. It's like, okay, bro, you got to pick one or the other. You can't have it both ways. But at the end of the day, show me a teacher that enjoy e-learning. I ain't never met one. I ain't never seen one. Like, e-learning is difficult because teachers still have to meet these marks for student achievement. And at the end of the day, a lot of these students they at home by themselves because the parents is at work. And even sometimes the parents dead, like the parents just not even paying attention. Like, but anyway, a lot of the students, they will turn their screen off and go play video games and do whatever they doing the whole time and not even engage in class at all. And a lot of times when you call home and say, hey, you know, Shorty wasn't on school today. Like, he logged in and didn't say nothing the whole time, turned his screen off, turned his mic off, ain't say nothing the whole time. It was, the parent gonna tell you, like, I'm at work, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? And to some degree that's valid, but discipline your kid, bro, because there's a lot of parents, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Like, we could be at school. I could call home from school, like, hey, your kid just threw a chair at the teacher. And well, y'all got to be more authoritative up there. That's y'all job. Y'all got to take care of that. Like, parents ain't holding their kids accountable even at school. So at home, it feel like it get even worse. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for teachers to meet their marks and actually teach students the way that they need to be taught while we're doing e-learning. And at the same time, breaking news, teachers got kids too, bro. So it's difficult, damn near impossible, to teach your students and watch your kid and make sure that they're learning as well. So, for example, when e-learning first started, you know what I'm saying, I got my son, he was in kindergarten at the time. So I'm trying to teach my class, and every 5 minutes, it's either A, every 5 minutes he asking me for help, or B, every 5 minutes the teacher is calling his name because he's not paying attention. And I'm not able to stand over him to make sure he's paying attention because I got to teach my class. You know what I'm saying? So it's an impossible task. And that's just with one kid. There's people out here who got 3, 4 elementary age kids, and they at home with these kids trying to make sure that they learning at the same time trying to teach their own class. That's crazy. And then you got the lunch breaks that's staggered, like his lunch before my lunch. So I can't stop and get him food while I'm teaching. So I got to make his, all his meals, snacks, everything in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Single dad, I'm in there whipping up breakfast, putting chicken patties in the oven at 7 in the morning. Like, it's not an easy task for nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of my whole point, is that, as parents, we know that's not easy for y'all, but at the same time, it's not easy for teachers either. Like, you between a rock and a hard place. And I think that it just needs to be grace on all ends, man, on every accord. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to be patient with each other and stop the narrative that teachers ain't been to work and they don't care and they don't want to work and they don't care about the kids and all that. Like, that ain't what's up, man. That's a disgusting narrative. And it's a lot of bad politics. And again, like, on my end, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't being used to my full potential. And I know how important character development is for kids. And especially with my focus being on young men, I know that relationships take you places that money can't. And you got to be a solid person to build those relationships in life. And it's like everything just seemed to be built towards what's on that standardized test. And everything else comes second, because there's so many incentives for administrators, for teachers, for everybody, for kids to get high test scores. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, education is bigger than that in my eyes. And I just wasn't being gratified for the position that I was being put in, because it was just like, okay, even though we know we see that you're a great benefit to these young men at this school, we just want you to go do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go do that, because that's just not our priority. And schools talk that talk like that's their priority, but that don't be their priority. And when I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about teachers. I'm not talking about teachers. I'm talking about the administration that makes the schedules, that makes the rules, that makes the format of the whole school, and how everything is ran is based on what the administrators want. You know what I'm saying? And some of the stuff don't even come from there. Some of the stuff come from above, you know what I'm saying, the school level. And it's like they forced to do certain things. But at the end of the day, like, I just realized that I wasn't getting no gratification. It became depressing. Like, I'm therapy the whole nine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just became a thing where it's just like, I'm in this position and I'm not able to help the way I want to help. And I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying, things go down and kids kind of go the wrong route. And it's like, damn, like, that's kind of what I'm here for, but I'm not able to do that. You know what I'm saying? That was my whole purpose of getting into teaching, and I'm not able to fulfill that at all. So this just feel purposeless. Like, I'm just here for a check. And it ain't even really worth the stress. Like, teaching is a stressful thing. And if it was just about the money, most people wouldn't do it. And that's why I walked away, because it wasn't enough money to deal with the stress of it if my purpose ain't being fulfilled. Like, my first, 3-4 years was great times because I was fulfilling my purpose while teaching. You know what I'm saying? So the money really didn't matter. But once that purpose not being fulfilled because I'm not being used the right way and I'm not being allowed to do the things that, you know what I'm saying, I want to, and some of it was because of COVID, and some of it was just because of how the school was ran. But at the end of the day, it was just like, nah, I can't just do this for a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm mentally tapped out. I don't want to be here. And at the end of the day, kids deserve somebody who want to be there and who feel like their purpose is being fulfilled and who feel like, you know what I'm saying, this is what they're supposed to be doing. But it's just so much politics and teaching that it's crazy. But I just want everybody out there to know that anybody who step into that teaching field is because they care. Like, ain't nobody showing up every day that I ain't gonna say nobody, but the vast majority of teachers that's showing up every day is because they care. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to be a different type of person. There's some out there who just show up for the check. It's some out there. It's rare as hell. It's rare as hell. I don't even know if I ever seen it, to be honest. On a teacher level, like on a, somebody that might be at a different role at a school, maybe substitute, maybe, but on a teacher level, I don't ever think I seen a teacher who didn't want to be there and didn't care about kids. I don't think I ever seen that before. So that narrative, again, it's a disgusting narrative, and I feel like that shit just needs to stop, yo. Like, that shit is whack. That's not where it's at, man. And that's it, man. I'm signing off, man. Terry Roseland, follow the podcast. I might do some more episodes about education. You know what I'm saying? Some more monologues about education, because I do got a lot to say, a lot that I can say now that I'm resigned. But because overall public school is kind of like, it's just a joke. Um, but yeah, man, signing off. Terry Roseland podcast, all streaming platforms. Check us out.